My neck hurts today.
It does? You know why?
Why?
My wrist hurts too. It's because it's raining.
What?
Yeah, we're getting old.
No, that's not real. Is that real? That's a wives' tale.
They say it's a thing that like injuries, like.
No, I think it's because I slept wrong.
Oh, why you sleep wrong?
Rachel is on a mission to buy every pillow in America.
This is a real thing.
I'm telling you that right now in our bedroom we have another chair, and it's got 8 pillows stacked up on it. There's just pillows everywhere. She's trying to find us the right pillows. And so every night I'm sleeping on a different pillow. My neck hurts.
But how do you know which is the right pillow?
I don't know.
Won't it take a couple of days?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll try it for like a week and then put a new one, but it's just not getting any better.
No.
You want to know a funny story?
Yeah, always.
So we need a new mattress because our mattress was having a problem. And so we go and buy a new mattress. We lay on all of them. And we spend $6,500 on a mattress.
There's a lot of money for a mattress.
That's worth more money than Rachel's car.
Right. Not her new car.
Not her new car.
But her old car that she drove for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Worth more than her car. We get this mattress. We're all excited. It's the worst. It's the worst. Do you know what we'd have done now?
What?
2 nights ago, here's what I did. I took a mattress out of our attic that our kid used to sleep on, but I didn't throw away because maybe they'll have a friend stay the night. That's how bottom of the barrel this mattress is. And then we got a mattress from my mom's house from a spare bedroom they don't use. And I put these 2, what are they, twins? The little ones? And I put 2 twins on the king frame, and I got a ratchet strap.
No.
I'm telling you the dead honest truth.
No,
I got a ratchet strap, and I put a ratchet strap all the way around them and sucked them together. And now me and Rachel are sleeping on 2 spring mattresses, and we sleep better on those than we do on our $6,500 mattress. We were all at staff lunch one time.
Oh God, this did happen.
We're all at staff lunch one time.
Because you guys have had mattress issues for years. This is like a continual situation.
It's like for the first 10 years of our marriage.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
No bed problems.
Right.
Just slept on the bed, happy as could be.
Right.
And then I don't even know what happened. We can't figure it out. We've owned so many mattresses.
Yes.
We've tried everything. Can't figure it out.
So one day we saw a mattress friend.
So we got a guy at our church who works at a mattress or like runs a mattress joint. And so we're at staff lunch and he comes over and says, "What's up?" to us. And so I said, "Hey man, I need to come and see you. My mattress is the worst." And Whitney pipes up. This is not my wife. Whitney pipes up and she says, "Yeah, you know what? His mattress is the worst.
It's the worst. It's terrible. It's got like a hole and the slit down the middle.
It's just so uncomfortable." And this man is looking at me like, why does this lady you're not married to have so many details about how bad your mattress is? And so I know what him and I are thinking. She don't have no idea.
I don't, because we've been friends
and so
forever.
I'm trying to like steer
Rachel
the thing
and I
away.
Have been like we've laid in the bed like, what is happening here? Aaron and us have come over to help you flip it and move it around. Like we've had lots of conversations about the mattress.
Well, anyways,
so unaware. Everyone at the table was looking at me like, you crazy lady.
She was not in the mattress with me in the mattress.
No, hashtag men and women in ministry, right? Like, golly. So sometimes you got to watch your mouth.
So my neck hurts a little bit today.
Sorry.
And so if you see me doing the stretch, I learned something funny this week. We have a bunch of people that only listen to the Tug of More, but did not even know that we have that we're videoing this right now.
We also are on YouTube in video form.
Yeah, so we're on video on YouTube. So if you want to see what we look like.
Because we're so cute.
Well, maybe there's people listening to us that have no idea what we look like.
Hey.
What do you think they think we look like? What do I look like if you didn't know what I looked like?
I don't know.
That's a fun experiment.
That is an interesting question. I don't know. But
Stanley from The Office.
Oh my gosh. I was waiting. I was like, he's going to say the most absurd. Hey, you either get Vin Diesel or Cake Boss. There's no in between.
I hate this.
It's
I hate
okay.
it.
I either get that girl from Elf or some other. Neither one of them are like beautiful.
Or a bag lady.
Okay.
Whitney carries more bags. Whitney carries more bags than any bag lady I've ever seen.
The pigeon lady from Mary Poppins? Is that who the bag
pigeon lady from Home Alone.
Home Alone. Yes, they're both of those. Same lady.
I was on an airplane. I was on an airplane once going to preach somewhere, and I'm sitting there, and these 2 ladies get on the plane, and they say, "It's him. It's him." And then the friend turns around, smacks her friend. She's like, look, and they start rifling through their purse to get a pen to get my autograph. And I'm sitting there, I have no idea what's happening. And she says, it's the cake boss.
Aww.
And I wanted to cry so bad. I don't want to be the cake boss.
Yeah. He jacked up his hand like real bad last year.
Good.
So no, not good, but good
sorry,
that
cake
you're
boss.
not the
Jesus
cake
loves
boss.
you.
But yeah, no, yeah. Oh, so Sarah Michelle Gellar, they used to call me Buffy the Vampire Slayer in high school. That is dumb.
Oh yeah, I did not know who that woman was, but I know who Buffy the Vampire Slayer is.
Yes, and so no, but hey, I don't know. We're people. We look nice, I guess. But
So, anyways, I'm back. My neck's a little
I
jacked.
really do think it could
So
be
if you got
from
like
the rain.
so if you got like a mattress connection, hit your brother
his
up.
mattress is worse. It's ridiculous. It's
Okay,
ridiculous.
what are we talking about today?
No, I think we're procrastinating on getting to what we're talking about.
Oh,
which
that's
is procrastination.
That's what we're doing. We're procrastinating getting to the topic that we want to dive into.
Yes.
Because sometimes in life, things are serious and hard
Yeah.
and heavy, and so we'd rather just push them off and
Right.
do them another day.
Yeah, or we're nervous about how it's going to go or how to lead into it or how to start. And so we just procrastinate and keep talking about mattresses.
So if you're called to more,
Right.
if you want to accomplish big things in your life, one thing you've got to get over
Yeah.
is procrastination.
Yeah.
Being lazy.
Yeah.
Putting it off till tomorrow.
Right.
Why? Because seize the day. Carpe
that diem, y'all.
that diem.
It's true. No, I think that this podcast is for those of us who really feel a tug and attention into stepping into all that we believe that we're
Yeah.
supposed to have.
Yeah.
That we're here and we want to be there. And the only way to get there is by a fight and a tug and a struggle. And so, yeah, you can't be lazy if you're trying to get more.
Oh, it's one of my greatest pet peeves.
Yeah.
But
I have a question.
Is lazy people that procrastinate.
But I have a question.
Okay.
When you had a paper due in school,
Oh yeah, it was the worst.
when you had a project, science fair, like I always waited till the week
Oh,
before.
science fair? Science
Yeah.
fair? I had done, ready, rocked it.
Really?
I won multiple science fairs.
Of course you did, though. You
But
were Bill Nye the Science Guy.
yeah, but I would never turn my paper in on time.
No. I'd always turn it in on time. Deadline's like, I'll meet my deadline, but I'm going to work on it all the way until the
Oh no,
deadline.
cram fest.
Yeah. But I think that is a valid, like, it's a sign of immaturity.
Yeah,
because I think
procrastination.
a lot of people were procrastinators when they were young.
Yeah.
But then when you get older, you have to decide, I'm not going to do that anymore, right?
And so I'm convinced that one of the major reasons people don't get to everything that they could to in life
Right.
is because they just wait.
Yeah.
They just procrastinate. They just sit on their hands and twiddle their thumbs and don't take the steps to do something.
No, it's true. I think so. And it's frustrating as leaders when we have employees who are procrastinators. But I think we see leaders and like owners of organizations and parents who are leading their children who procrastinate all the time too. And
Yeah.
so it's a big issue. We got to talk about it.
And so I've been itching to kind of talk about this
Yes.
idea for a while because we've done a couple podcasts about rest.
Yes.
Rest. Then we did the podcast 7 types of rest,
Right.
which is really good. You should go listen
It's
to it.
very good.
Then we've talked about waiting,
Right.
all these things. And every time when we're talking about it, I'm putting in all these caveats,
Right.
unless you're lazy. Because I think that a lot of times there's a percentage of the population that needs to learn how to rest.
Yeah.
But there's another percentage of the population that needs to get to work.
Right.
Get the junk to work. Wake up on time.
Right.
Iron your shirt. Come to work. Do the job.
Yeah.
Don't clock out at 4:59.
No, right.
Stay till 5:29.
Right.
Stay till 5:30. Push it.
Well,
Work hard.
One of the greatest compliments you've received that you appreciate is that you have a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And people, when they know us,
People who are leaders.
yeah, when they know us, they're like, y'all run hard, y'all
Yeah.
get junk done, y'all have urgency. And I think that the opposite of urgency is procrastination. And so,
Yeah.
we're not big fans of it because we've seen it done wrong a lot. And I think that also for us, in our context, we're pastors and leaders of a church. We have a big urgency because of the mission we're called to do.
Yeah.
That we're helping people who don't know God and be in relationship with Him. And that's a huge thing. But no matter what you're doing, whatever you're leading, you have a vision you want to get to.
Yeah.
And so you have to look at the things that are keeping you from getting there. And I think for a lot of people, you're right. It's procrastination, laziness. So
Yeah.
let's talk about why that happens. And then let's talk about like How have you fought that in your life in seasons? What do we do? How do we get there? How do we stop?
Well, I think that you hit the major thing on the head at the top is you've got to remember what the goal is.
Yeah.
If you have no like obtainable goal, if all we have is ethereal, like big swooping ideas that we want to accomplish, then we don't really have anything to walk directly towards.
Yeah.
And so what we do is we consistently have goals that we're running at.
Right.
And so you can't play basketball without a basketball goal.
Yeah.
If there's no goal, you're just dribbling the ball around the court. And I think that a lot of leaders, pastors, influencers, business owners, they don't really set up the goal. They're just dribbling around and don't really understand the game.
Well, and I think they don't set like short-term, long-term, or attainable and actual like in view that like there can be these giant goals of like, I want to grow a large church. Well, what is that?
I'm going to reach the city.
Right.
Well, okay. When?
How?
What's your
the
growth?
next right step you're going to take? Yeah. Right. And so, yeah, we have to have some goals, some vision of where we're going, but then some steps of how to get there in order to maybe, and then start it.
Yeah. For me in ministry, it's very real understanding that that everybody someday is going to meet their maker.
Yeah.
The death rate of humans is 100%.
Correct.
So all of us are going to step into eternity someday, and all of us have a soul.
Right.
And God wants us to be with Him in heaven for eternity. And so there's some urgency there. There's some like motivation of like, man, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
And so it drives me. Another goal is that I've got a shelf life. Like as a leader, as a pastor, at some point I'm going to age out of being culturally relevant.
Right.
And then after that, I still am full of wisdom and can still help. But then I age out where I'm just old and about to die.
Yeah.
And so I'm knocking on 40.
Yeah.
And so I've got another, 25 years of like the lead driver.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I hope at 65 or 70 or 62,
whenever it's
somewhere,
time.
there's a time that a handoff to the next generation has to happen. And so I have a very real awareness that I've only got so many minutes on the clock.
Yeah. So I think for some people, maybe they have this ethereal idea of being like someone great, but they don't really have any goals.
Right.
So that could be an issue, or they don't have a vision for the goals they want to achieve. And I think that for you and I both, we've always known that we were called to more, like that God had something big for us. But there were seasons when it wasn't fully in focus.
Yeah.
And I think that can sometimes hinder people. But even if you don't know the full focus of what it is, you can still take some steps to get out of procrastination and laziness, right?
For sure.
Of like, maybe you don't know the giant goal, but you can decide, hey, I, in my personal life, would like to lose some weight, or I'd like to get married. All these pieces. I don't know. Why do you think people just sit on the couch and play video games instead when they really want to be great?
They don't really want to be great. They really want to be comfortable.
That's what I think too. That's what I was trying to get you to say.
Okay. They just want to be comfortable. We say,
because it's hard.
We flex like we want to be great, like we want to do something amazing. But really, we'd rather just be comfortable and stay up late and play Call of Duty and wake up and eat a donut and roll into some mediocre job and complain about it to our friends and get drunk on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's what we would prefer to that's what we would prefer to do.
Yeah.
Instead of really give our life, sacrifice our life to accomplish something for our faith or for our family.
No, I think that's something you and I have seen. I think for a while we thought it was generational, but I think it's just certain personalities or certain people. But like, we've always been willing to give the extra 12%, the extra yard our whole lives, even when we weren't in full-time ministry. Before you were in full-time ministry, you were still working another job to be able to allow you to do those things, right?
Yeah.
And then like, I think nowadays though, so many people are hoping they'll stumble into their greatness and they're just like waiting instead of getting.
Stumbling into greatness is very rare.
Super rare.
And if it happens, you don't stay there long.
No, right.
Right?
You don't have the discipline
like
to...
maybe your talent or whatever you do is so great that you get recognized by some movie producer or
Right.
some elite level leader and they bring you in to do something and it will give you 15 minutes of fame. But for me, I don't want to be a one-hit wonder pastor.
That's really good.
You know these one, you remember Milli Vanilli?
Yeah.
There's Blame It on the Rain. There's all these one-hit wonder musicians
Right.
that everybody knows Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. But after that,
Yeah. Right.
they like made it, but then they didn't really have the artistic ability to maintain it.
Yeah.
And if you're just hoping on a luck
Yeah.
or a dream, man, work ethic is the thing that gets you there.
You always talk about with our team. We have a young team. A lot of the people on our team are young and learning how to step into more, right? And so you shared before that there were seasons of your life and you would go to work and you would just look at your computer and be like, I don't actually know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So talk
So I
about
got my first job in a church and I was a associate assistant youth pastor. And so I remember I got a little office and a computer. And so like I graduated from college.
Right.
And so now I have this like kind of 9 to 5
Yeah.
job. And I just show up at 9 o'clock and I sit down and I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Like
on
I don't,
Thursday at
I
9
don't know who to
Right.
email. I have this phone here on my desk. Maybe I'm supposed to call somebody. And I just didn't, I didn't know what the next steps were.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have anybody telling me
Right.
what the next steps were.
Yeah.
And so you can either just get stuck there
Right.
or you can just start doing something.
Right. Because for me, the reason I got my paper done in school is because I had a deadline.
Yeah.
Because I had a bell system that told me to go from this class till this time and then this class till this time. That's what kept me going to school in the order. But when I became an adult, there's no bell, there's no deadline unless I set it for myself.
Yeah. Dude, it's so good. So there were all these guys in high school that were like the alpha
Right.
guys. And then now, 25 years later after
Right.
high school, they're bums.
Yeah.
They're haven't done anything with their life.
Yeah.
You know why they excelled so much in high school? Because somebody else held the whistle.
Right. No, right.
They were good on the football field
Yep.
because there was a coach with a whistle. They were good in the classroom because a teacher created the syllabus and the steps and the ways to succeed, and they were good in that framework, but they didn't know how to lead themselves.
Right.
Sometimes people stay in college for all these years because they don't actually know what to do. I can't tell you,
Oh, man. It's true.
people about to be mad at me, and that's fine. I can't tell you how many people just keep taking classes and keep going to more master's degree programs, but they aren't actually
Right.
doing anything with their lives. Do you know
Right.
why? Because they don't know how to succeed without somebody else giving them a framework.
No, it's true. I remember a girl in my class.
Now, if you're called to be a doctor or something or a veterinarian,
No,
you got to
no,
go to school for
that's
1,000
totally
years.
different.
That's totally
That's
different.
not what you're talking about.
But I'm saying like
Lifetime learners. We're all lifetime learners,
Yeah.
but get out of the classroom and actually go do
sometime
something with
you
it.
have to have the whistle in your hand.
Absolutely.
You have to be the person writing your own syllabus, ringing your own bell.
Right. No, I remember a girl that was literally homecoming queen, prom queen. Like she did all the things. She was on the honor roll,
Yeah.
all the things. And I remember she went off to, I'm from Oklahoma. She went off to OU in Norman and she came and I ran into her during like her first break, one of the first breaks in college the first year. And I was like, how's it going? How's things? And she said, it's going fine. But I realized like in college, nobody cares if you were the homecoming queen. And it was this funny statement where I was like, yeah, girl.
Right, because
But-
there's 45 homecoming queens at college.
Right. And like, it's like they've established these are the goals. The
Right.
goal is to be homecoming queen. The goal
Yeah.
is to be prom queen, whatever that someone else established for us. And it was like, she was super lost in figuring out who am I? What do I want? And so like, man, if you find yourself stuck on the couch, it's probably because you don't know who you want to be and what you want to do.
Right.
And you've got to actually write it out, make it plain. Like when you became lead pastor, I remember very quickly you had a plan written out of like, this is what I feel like God's speaking to me over the next few years of what it's going to look like and how it's going to be.
And some of it was exactly right, and some of it was massively off.
Yeah, but who
But
cares?
at least I had something to walk towards.
Right.
Yesterday,
Yeah.
you and I had a meeting.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Monday,
Yes.
from when you're watching this, and I wrote on the board on my whiteboard in my office, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, for 2 weeks. I
Yeah.
wrote every day on the board for 2 weeks, and then Whitney and I scheduled everything that we're doing by hour, what we're doing for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm not preaching this Sunday, then we're going to do a new series that we've already kind of got figured out.
Yeah.
Some. And so we know that we can work on the ministry, that we can work not in it, but on it, that we cannot get stuck in the day-to-day, but we can work on some of the big vision pieces. Right. And so we just scheduled all those things out. Right. But I don't think that a lot of leaders, they just show up to work and they're like, well, what should I do?
Right.
If you are not in charge of your calendar is in charge of you.
Wow.
If you are not leading the problems are leading you.
Right.
Your time will fill up.
Absolutely.
My time at living, if I just walk around the building, it's going to fill up because
everybody's going to need 5
Parker
minutes. Right.
is going to want to brainstorm an idea, which I love. I want to do that.
Right.
Bailey is going to want to talk to me about a creative thing and I want to hear about that. All of these things are good things, but if I'm not leading me and having time to work on the future,
then
we're never going to get there.
Then you come to the end of the day and you're like, oh, what did I even get done for the goals that I had? And I think that can happen because what it is it's a discipline to actually schedule it and prepare it and do it. And it's not comfortable. Mm-hmm. But we'd rather just kind of shoot the breeze and see what happens in the day. But that's not going to get us anywhere.
And we've learned that we've had people come on the staff here with us that are not motivated, that are not urgent.
Right.
They're not driven. They're lazy.
And we're real direct about who we are. I mean, that's who we are. And so whenever we've interviewed with anyone or talked to them, we tell them like we work hard and we run fast. But what it really means is that we have a sense of urgency towards the things God's called us to. And so some people maybe procrastinate or are lazy who actually work hard, but they're not actually getting anything done. They're not actually running hard into the real things. They think they're working hard, but they're working hard on things that don't matter.
We did a conference here at Living Church not too long ago, where we were teaching on like churches breaking growth hurdles and giving some of that. And somebody told us in that conference that we have a reputation.
Yes.
That if you don't work hard, you'll get fired. And so we're in this like Q&A time. Like there's 500, they're not 500. There's 100 pastors in the room. 100 people. Yeah. And the guy raises his hand and asks a question and is like, so is that true? Are you just going to fire people if they don't work hard? And I said, what's the alternative?
Right.
Like, okay. At Living Church, we now have a personality that we've put out into the minister's world that if you get hired here and you don't do your job, Truston's going to fire you.
Right. Well,
what's the alternative?
Right. Well,
the alternative is that we're just going to hire these people to come work at our churches to not do their jobs, and then we're just going to keep giving them God's tithe to not do it. What? I'm sitting there.
Before we started recording this podcast, you said, I just want us to do one that's more light and fun because we're so intense. That is who we are, and that's who we'll always be.
I sat on the stage, and this guy's asked me this question, and I can't comprehend.
Right, but bro, that means that they have...
That he's lazy as a mug.
Well, it means that
what are we doing here?
There is a common thread of people saying we don't have to
Listen,
work hard.
if you're building houses, build houses.
Right.
The Bible says do everything with your hands as unto the Lord.
Right.
If you're taking out the trash, take it out as unto the Lord.
Right.
And that's not a cliche. My mom cleaned houses her whole life.
Right.
And she took out trash as unto the Lord.
Right.
And so if you're preaching the gospel, you better be working hard.
Well,
you better go home
so.
Tired at the end of every day.
That's true.
You better go home. There are days that I go home and I literally get an ice pack and put it on my head.
Yeah. No, it's real.
We are not called to just live a life of ease and comfortability and complacency.
No.
You better be working that crap.
No, it's true.
And if you're a pastor who dares to cash a check and you don't work hard, pull your crap together.
That's true.
That's somebody's tithing their money.
It's true.
For you to just sit in your office and watch YouTube videos and watch Family Guy and go golf
I
and
knew you were
leave.
gonna say go play golf.
and leave the office at 4
Right.
o'clock. I want to say shame on you, except Jesus came not to condemn the world.
But
I might be here for another reason.
Well, you're not Jesus, so it's fine.
I just get turned up about it. So we tell our staff. We have this lady in our church. She's a single mom.
Yeah.
She works a couple jobs and she volunteers. She had a busted car. We bought her a new car.
Yeah.
All the things. And so I tell our staff, hey, before you go and buy something at Target for an event, I want you to think about this lady. I say her name, and I want you to think about it's her tithe that you're spending.
Right.
Because if we're going to go and just buy too many things for an event. This lady works really hard for her money, but she still tithes.
And it's a sacrifice of her life to give to God.
It's the widow's mite.
It's the widow's mite. Is what I was about to
And
say.
so how are we spending the widow's mite? Well, I want to ask, if you get a paycheck from a church, how are you spending that time?
It's true.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah. Are you earning the wages that you're receiving? And then as people who are leaders called to more, if you're the one running the business, man, are you earning what you're putting out there you can't be frustrated that you haven't grown your business if you haven't given more time to that than anything else.
Right.
You can't be frustrated that you haven't achieved your goals. Man, we hear it, haters are motivators, but a lot of times haters are just people who are mad at us because we're doing the thing that they wish they could do, but they're not willing to do the work to get to where we're at. And so we've done a lot over the last 5 years. We've accomplished a lot, and we've not even accomplished as much as we've wanted to accomplish.
No, I feel like we haven't done nearly what's on my heart.
But what's funny is when we go back and really look at it, we see, oh my word, we've done so much in a short amount of time, but it also went really fast.
Yeah.
And time is one of the things you cannot get back. The other day you asked me, what's more valuable, time or money? And we both at the same time, like, duh.
The most important part of a football game is not the players. It's not the coaches. It's not the football. It's not if the lines are in the right place on the field. Right. The most important part is not the cheerleaders or the helmets. The most important part of a football game is the clock.
Right.
Because when the clock quits ticking,
that's who wins.
That's who won the game.
Right.
And all of the other details are not as important as the timeline.
Right.
And in ministry or in life,
we can
just let time tick away.
Yeah.
And days go by and weeks and months and years, and we look back and what the junk did we accomplish?
Right. I mean, I've been real open about how this season of life, my kids are older, and I'm looking back and I see the time hop where they started kindergarten, but then my son is now starting freshman year of college. And if I would have waited to instill some stuff in them when I thought it was the right moment, right season, when they were finally mature enough to give them a chore or whatever, I hear so many things from parents that are like, well, it's a really hard season right now. Or, oh, we've been going through a lot emotionally, so I don't want to really get on to them. You only have a short amount of time, and then they're gone. We have to really establish these things now. There's things I wish I would have established sooner so that they had a cleaner bedroom or bathroom or whatever. But there's so many things that we have to strategically daily determine, hey, I'm going to work hard as parents, as leaders, as individuals to push into more. If we don't, we're wasting it.
So, dude, I have so many thoughts. So we've got to set some goals.
Yeah.
And then we have to make those goals known and create some consequence for if we don't do them.
Right, because in school, when you turned your paper in late, you got 10% off the first day or whatever,
or you got held back,
right,
and you had to do third grade again.
Which is horrible.
There's some consequence, but the struggle that we have as adults, if we keep getting a paycheck and we can pay our mortgage and we have dinner to eat, is there's not really the same consequence of getting to more.
Right.
We've talked about comfortability before and risk, but if you're comfortable, then you don't have to do more.
Right.
Because you already got what you need.
Right.
But so we've got to create some
parameters.
Some consequences if we don't do it.
Yeah.
So if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to accomplish this. Here's where we're going as a church, and I don't at least take the steps to get there.
Right.
I've got a bunch of people that are going to start asking me questions.
Right. No, you said
your
that
board,
before.
Your elders, your directors, your staff, your friends, your wife, people that you trust, other ministers.
Right.
And say, hey, Truston, I thought you said you were about to do this thing.
Right.
What happened?
No, and
there's consequence.
And it can be hard when we spoke stuff out that we were going to do and we haven't. Like we said, we were going to break ground in 2020. We weren't able to. And we've talked about that before. But what if I say it and I fail or I don't make it? No, at least you can look back at what you have accomplished to get there. We've had a global pandemic and all kinds of. Right.
We care too much about somebody else's opinion.
100%.
I'd rather make the claim.
Right.
And run for it.
Exactly.
And not get to the end zone than just have sat there and not done anything.
No, right. And so, speaking it out is a huge piece of saying, this is where I'm going. Hold me accountable to it. You remember years ago, I was working a job that I didn't need to be working anymore.
Oh, those are good.
And I was procrastinating quitting because the truth is I had already tried to quit and they had like convinced me to stay and give me a better package, a better amount of money and better hours and all the things. And I stayed and I was miserable and frustrated. And you'd be like, what's the end date?
Well, no.
What's the timeline?
You and Aaron came over to Rachel and I's house and you were upset about it and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so,
you're like, Whitney, you've talked about this. You hate it. What are you doing?
Set the date.
Let's set the date. What's the date you're going to be done by?
And then made you write the letter.
Yeah, write the email, do the thing.
Yeah.
And like you will either go into their office and quit or turn this letter in by XYZ day. And though, again, I had asked you into my circle to help me, but it was up to me to actually get it done. Mm-hmm. You were going to hold me accountable as my friend, but I had to go do it. It wasn't easy, but thank God I felt so much better once I did. And I think sometimes we're nervous of the like first step or the first moment of it, and I think it keeps us from like, oh, I gotta go. Even writing a sermon sometimes or sermon series, you I'm sure there's moments where you're like, oh, I need to start this, I gotta do it, I'm not even sure yet, but once you get going, then you got it.
There's always something funner to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's just say that you in your whatever organization that you need to sit down and schedule some time to plan the next quarter. Mm-hmm. All of us have to do that.
Right.
Pastor, business owner, parent making lunches.
Right.
We all need to sit down and take some time to plan the next quarter. That's not the funnest thing in the world.
No.
You know what you'd rather do? Watch TV.
Right.
You know what you'd rather do? Pet the dog.
Yeah.
You know what you'd rather do? Take a nap.
Yeah.
There's always something that you would rather do. But this is where the tug is.
Right.
Are you going to do what's comfortable or are you going to do what's necessary? Are you going to procrastinate or are you going to be disciplined?
But it starts with the small things and the big things.
Okay.
So it's not just the giant meeting overarching, but it's just what's the list of things that I need to do? I need to send that one email. It's this fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get to it later. No, do it first. Like we've talked about before, build the list and do the simplest stuff first just to get it done. But I think that what can happen is we have these big things we need to do. So we're going to work here. And then you're writing that PhD paper for like 25 years, but you didn't get any of these little things. Like get some little junk done too. And I think that as leaders, that's something in urgency that we get frustrated by if we have like a small task that we know needs to get done and we have to like remind somebody on our team 4 times to get a small task done. Yeah. That's if you're wanting to step into more and you have someone leading you and they've encouraged you, hey, get it done. Hey, get it done. That's a sign that you're not leading yourself well, and how can you lead anybody else if you're not? Wow. But we gotta focus and get it done.
So, if you're procrastinating, why?
Right.
Are you procrastinating because it's more comfortable to do the lazier thing? Are you procrastinating because you don't know what to do?
Right.
Are you procrastinating because if you get there, you're scared you can't stay there? Like you've got to identify what's the reason that
or
you're
have you evaluated the right priority level on things? So yesterday when we were making out the list, a bunch of our team was going to go to lunch together, and usually on this day we go to lunch together. And you and I literally had the conversation: should we stay and keep working on this stuff and not go to lunch, or should we do the lunch? I think what happens is most people pick the lunch 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
The problem is you and I don't pick the lunch 9 times out of 10.
And so we said, you know what? We're not going to see our staff or connect with our team until next Tuesday.
Right.
And that's not good.
Right.
We've got this guy here and this girl here.
Yeah.
And I haven't really talked to them in a couple weeks. So like,
let's do the right thing.
Let's go to lunch.
And so where for us, our personality, that might have been the thing that we would have not picked. We needed to pick it then. Yeah. And we have to look at our week sometimes and evaluate, are we putting the right priority in the right places? Easton and Bailey creatively lead and do things, right? If they don't prioritize when to set the cameras up for even this podcast, they won't be ready on time, right? Yeah. If they don't figure out when to do setup and tear down for our lights and sound on Sunday, it won't be correct at 9:30 when service starts.
Right.
And so like, I think as leaders, whatever you're leading, whatever your organization is, if you don't set some deadlines for yourself, but then also prioritize what needs to get done in what order, how, when to get there, man, I just see it happen.
Sometimes
so often
we're really good at being urgent on one side, but then we're very
Right.
procrastinative.
Procrastinatory. Yeah.
Procrastinate.
Something.
That we procrastinate in another area.
Right.
And so we've got to identify what areas are we really good at.
Yeah, because I just can hear the person saying, I'm super urgent. You don't understand how urgent I am, and I still haven't got there. And I'm like, yeah, but I think you're urgent in the wrong place.
No, yeah, or in the wrong skill. Like there are some skills I'm super confident in.
Right.
Like this thing I'm not intimidated by. I will do this and jump on that without a moment's notice. But there are other things that I'm like, oh, how are we going to do this? How is this going to go?
No,
like
right.
for our team, there, in the setup and teardown world, there's some that are simple. Got to get the trailer fixed.
Right.
Got to do the thing. But are we making the phone call?
Right.
But are we sending the email?
Right.
These are very tangible. Sometimes they're easy to do. But these...
Are we giving our volunteers love and affection, or
Right.
are we just solving it at the last minute and calling people late? Like, I don't know, but we have to keep looking at it.
When we
and
procrastinate, there's a consequence.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's an immediate consequence, and sometimes there's a long-term consequence.
Yeah.
We had a guy on our staff once who was over
An area.
and so we're getting ready for Christmas.
Yes.
And so he's going to do the whole Christmas background on the stage and lights and the building and decorations. And like he keeps telling us it's going to get done. It's going to get done. We're almost there. I got all the stuff. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. He's like literally procrastinating. It's now the week before the series.
This is not in setup and tear down season. This is in season
we're
one.
in
You've
our
got
building.
the building. You can work on it anytime you want.
And so what happened? I don't remember. You might remember the timeline better.
Oh, yeah. The night before.
So he keeps telling us it's going to happen, and it's not.
Right.
And so it gets all the way down to it's now Saturday night before the next Sunday. We're launching Christmas series. Like we've been talking about get your friends and family here for Christmas series. And so our families,
Yes.
both generations, younger and older,
Yeah.
are here until 2 a.m. On Saturday.
Yep.
Doing literally, I'm about to preach the next morning, multiple services, and I'm literally here hanging lights.
Yep.
Why?
We put the ladder on rollers and yes, our spouses are helping.
It was a disaster.
Yeah.
I at one point fell asleep on a table in the lobby because I was so exhausted because of all the work that had to be done because this other person on our team procrastinated. Guess what? You don't work here anymore.
No, that's true too.
You can't.
Yeah,
But it's what I said.
can't-
It's what I said. As the leader, I would be a bad steward of people's tithe
Right.
to continue to pay somebody. Now, this is not the first time. This happened.
Oh,
this
correct.
happened a
This
bunch
was
of other
not
times.
one
It's
situation.
not like
This was a
all the grace. This was a systemic problem in this
systemic problem.
person who's in their leadership.
Because sometimes that's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to procrastinate and you're going to recognize, oh darn, and somebody's going to have to come in and save the day and help you. And hopefully that moment is a wake-up call moment for you to then shift and not be that person anymore.
Right. I mean, one of our values here at Living Church is that we own our zone, but we play the field.
Right.
So you've got to own your zone, but occasionally stuff's happening and we need to play the field.
Yeah.
We need to go and help somewhere else.
Right.
So I'm always willing
100%.
still to hang Christmas lights.
Right. No, always.
I did tear down
that
this
we had
Sunday.
to do it. It's that we were doing it at the last minute because those who were supposed to didn't do it. But we also have the value that we love, lead, and labor with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if urgency is something, we talk about this a lot. And so I don't know. We still haven't decided if urgency is something that can be learned or if it's in you and it can be developed. It can be developed better, but you're either born with it or not. We're not sure. We're not.
Or like is urgency developed in you by the age of
XYZ.
12,
Right.
20,
No, right.
6?
Yeah.
Like
No, because I know a lot of dudes who were playing video games way too late when they were in their 20s who are now really sharp, strong
right. And so
leaders.
but what we're learning is that when you see someone doesn't have urgency, it's very hard to get that in them.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what urgency is. Just
It's a tug and a pulling to run quickly.
yeah.
Here's a great example. We were talking about yesterday in staff meeting. Enrique and Easton went to a conference with a men's conference, a big one that's national that was here in the area. And it was at the Cowboys Stadium. And they said that the mic for one of these like super famous people wasn't working. And they said they sat there for minutes and no one went to give the guy a mic.
Yeah.
And in our church, this past Sunday, your mic freaked out.
Yeah.
Super weird, crazy technology issue. And within seconds, Bailey was on stage with another mic to give you.
Yeah. And I see our whole sound booth erupt
everyone
with movement.
Running.
Bailey runs around. I see Casey's off the stage and so like it's a house of urgency.
Yeah.
That when there's a problem, let's all jump on it and fix that
it's
thing.
It's that song. If you got a problem, yo, I'll solve it.
Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it.
I knew you'd know. Yeah. But it's true. Like, we got to solve it quick. We said it before, for us, it's the urgency of like people are dying going to hell if they don't know Jesus. But in your organization, you're going to set a reputation very quickly of being a person who solves problems quickly or not. What?
We had another guy on our team.
Okay. I was like, he thought of something.
No, we had another guy on our team who was planning a trip for his department to go somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so we said, hey man, you need to send an email to everybody involved.
Correct.
Send this email to this group, send this email to this group. This was
like 6 weeks before or something.
And so like I'm doing one-on-ones at this point with staff. And so a week later, have the one-on-one. Hey, the email go out?
Yeah.
No. Oh no, I said, send me the email too. I want to see it.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, I didn't get the email. Yeah, no, sorry. I started writing it and my wife's going to proofread it or, Okay, send it out today. When you leave this meeting, send it out. That happens for like 3 or 4 weeks, and the email just never got sent. Now, this was not the first time that something like this had happened. It's just that I've seen this systemic issue of procrastination.
Right.
And now we have a very tangible, your boss said to do this thing, and we're now 5 weeks down and you haven't sent the one email.
Yeah.
So we have the whole conversation and it's out of all these other insecurities about spelling and grammar and all these other issues. But those could have been mitigated by sending it to Amanda. Send it to somebody else to proofread it for you and then send the thing out. And because it wasn't done, the event was not a success.
Right.
So a change has to happen.
Yeah.
You do not have the capacity to do the job here. For me, under urgent leadership.
No, that's a great question. Are you procrastinating in an area because you don't really have the capacity or the capability of doing it, or are you procrastinating because you're insecure? Those are two different things. Because if you are saying you're going to do something, you have a goal and you want to go do it and all the things, but you really don't have the capability and the capacity to do it, and that's why you keep doing it, then you probably just shouldn't. That shouldn't be your goal anymore. That you should just. That's not your skill set. Sorry, that's okay. Try something new. Because why keep saying you're going to do the thing that is not really? Go do the more and something else. Or is it just insecurity and you need to get over it and be willing to say to somebody, hey, I need to get this done, but I'm a little insecure about it. We've done that in all kinds of, we say it all the time. We don't know what we're doing, but we're going to keep pushing. No, that's great. There's so many thoughts I had just now when you were talking.
If you got something, go.
Well, no, I just think that like customer service in your world, that whatever people are leading, like we tease, but like I like to shop at Nordstrom's. Why? Not because it's fancy or whatever, but because their customer service is greater than anybody else. Because I know and trust that they're always going to take care of the situation with urgency. Anytime, if I have a shoe that breaks, if I have, something that doesn't work.
It's not a big hassle. It's not a big to-do.
It's not a huge issue to get something done. Whereas there's other places that we've done business with that I've had to call them and recall them and check in. And then if I didn't remind them the day before, they didn't show up on time with the event and the vendor that was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no matter what we're doing and leading, like your organization is not going to succeed if you are known for being the one that isn't urgent versus the success you will have if you're known for being urgent.
You're going to jump on it.
Absolutely.
So I had 2 thoughts.
Yeah, go.
One, our value. I want us to circle back to that.
We gotta do that.
But I watched a TED Talk.
Oh yeah, this is super good.
Years ago.
Yeah. No, right.
That is
You've
so
shown it
good.
to our
Can
team.
we link it? Okay, we'll link it up in the corner. This TED Talk about procrastination, that's incredible. And it talks about how you have to have a calendar and a timeline of all of these different areas in life that the countdown is happening.
Yeah.
But we so easily get distracted with silly things. And so when you're done watching this one, go watch that one.
You've shown it to our team. Like collectively, you've shown it to our team individually. You've shown it to some of our friends in different seasons when you're like, hey, bro, you're procrastinating.
Get to
Watch
work.
this.
Right.
Yes, it's really good and helpful.
Okay, our value.
Yes.
We love,
lead labor
with a sense of urgency. Let's just spend 30 seconds on each one.
Yeah.
as pastors, we need to love people with urgency.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If they just got to the hospital,
Yeah.
there's a window of time that we
Right.
should be loving them.
Yeah.
If you got a voicemail phone call and their marriage is erupting, this is not put it off until next Thursday.
No, you can't.
We need to love people with urgency.
Right. And
Jesus helped the woman caught in the act of adultery in the moment.
if you wouldn't have, she'd have got stoned to death.
Exactly.
Right.
We have to have urgency in loving people.
Right. And that translates everywhere. So as parents, as spouses, as leaders, as people, we have to love people in our sphere with urgency too. And
Yeah.
it's not just for pastors. It's for anybody who is trying to love anybody. You got to do it with urgency. Otherwise you're saying you don't care.
Yeah.
And if we don't care, then why are we doing it in the first place? Then we lead
effectively. So we don't need to think about it later.
Right.
We don't need to spend 10 hours in a brainstorming planning.
Yeah.
We need to jump in, follow our instincts, follow the leading of the Holy Spirit, and we need to lead now.
Have you ever been a part of a team that talked about stuff for a really long time?
Yeah, it drives me
But
crazy.
never made a decision?
Yeah. Someday when we get into our next building that God's going to provide, so we have bigger office space, we're going to put a big thing on the wall that says ideas are garbage and execution is everything.
Yes. It's true.
Ideas are garbage. You know why? Everybody has them.
Yeah.
I got more ideas
And
than
if you don't got them, you can just get on Pinterest and get some.
I got more ideas than I know what to do with.
Right.
But execution is everything.
Right.
Leading is everything.
Right.
When you and I first started working together, we would be like, we need to call that person. And I would pull my phone out.
Like in the minute while we were making our strategy plan, you would just do it. And I'd be like, whoa.
And you would be like, wait. But now it's just something that
Now we just do it.
Because if we need to call
Why
a
am I gonna
lawyer,
wait?
if we need to call an engineer, if we need to call somebody in our church,
Yeah.
let's do it right the junk now.
I mean, it doesn't take that long, and we can actually
phone
have
call's
the answer to what we need.
Only going
right
to
then.
take 2 minutes.
Right.
Why would I have a meeting with my executive pastor? Say, I'm going to call them. Then I go to my office and call them. Then I have to wait 3 days for our schedule to realign.
Right.
To then tell you what they said.
Right.
If I can just
Just do it right now.
urgency lead it.
Yeah.
Love, lead, and labor.
But before you go to labor,
Okay.
in the leading is also the hard things. It's not just the fast things.
Okay.
It's also the hard things.
Yeah.
Because we've said before that there's certain team, that Christmas situation, we had allowed to go a long time, and that's part of why that happened is we
Right.
knew the systemic issue and we had not handled it
and
yet.
it just turned it. Well, I didn't call anybody.
Yeah.
I didn't recruit a team.
Right.
I got behind and I thought maybe they would be busy.
Yeah.
All right. But if you would have had some urgency
Right.
3 months ago,
Right.
guess what? Christmas comes every December.
Every time.
Guess what? It's
No,
coming.
right.
And so if we would just build a plan earlier,
Yeah. No,
We'll
it's
be
true.
okay.
And then in our own lives, personally, in whatever organization we're in our life, we got to lead ourselves with urgency. We got to lead what we want out of life with urgency.
love,
then
lead, labor is just, for us, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker. Whitney's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Physically.
Right. We've said that we have callous hands. That's who we are.
I unloaded this table
Right.
in this room and screwed the legs on it.
Right.
My dad built these walls that are behind us.
Right. I put the ice and the water in these
this
cups
morning.
this morning. Like, we don't have fancy people to do it for us. We do it
Right.
ourselves.
So we're willing to jump in.
Right.
And so a part of our staff culture is that I need to see you work.
Right.
And so people that we've interviewed don't know this. But we have had trailers show up that need to be unloaded.
Right.
And see what happens.
Right.
We had a guy on staff years ago, and we were unloading these pallets off of a trailer.
Yes.
And so we got to go. We get all the guys and even the girls, and we're unloading these pallets off the trailer. And he just stood there and watched. And it tells me something.
Yeah.
It tells me something about.
Are you willing to jump in?
Are you willing to jump in? And so we can't be too cool to get sweaty.
Right.
So get in the trailer, jump in the back of the truck, go in the storage room.
Because you never know when we're going to go back to set up and tear down. You never know. You never know when
And guess
God's
what?
going to shift something.
So guess what? Someday we're going to get a big, beautiful campus. And guess what? It's time to start another location.
Right.
And that other location about to be set up and tear down.
Yeah.
And so maybe.
Or a building that we got to renovate.
Exactly.
And so you got to be willing to swing
There's
a
always
hammer.
work to do.
Right. There's
And
always
so
something to hang on a wall or something to do.
We can't wait to do it later. You know, the Bible, it talks about procrastination.
Yeah.
I actually have a whole message that I preached on this in the series I Pity the Fool, where I talk about lazy people.
Oh, yeah,
The
that's
lazy and the diligent.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
No,
man.
yeah.
And it says that lazy people say things like this. They say, there's a lion in the street. I'll do it later. They make up excuses.
Right.
It talks about how lazy people turn in their bed like a door turns on its hinges.
Yeah.
There's just no urgency.
Right.
Proverbs talks all about laziness. It says that a lazy employee is like smoke in the eyes to an employer.
Yeah.
The
Which
Bible.
is true.
Yeah, it's annoying as junk
It's
to have someone
driving
lazy.
nuts. No, it says also, though, that if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done.
Boom.
And that's what I think happens so often. We're waiting for these perfect conditions. No, get it done right now.
We live in a broken world.
Yeah.
There's never perfect conditions.
No.
You never have enough money. You never have enough employees. You never have enough volunteers. You never have the right facility. You never have the right season of the world.
No,
and if we
right.
wait for perfect conditions,
No, you'll never have the perfect degree.
you ain't never
You'll
going to have
the-
nothing.
right.
So I know
there's
you
so many
don't. I know you
pieces.
don't have what you need, but you know what you do have? Work ethic.
Yeah.
So work hard.
No, yeah. We believe that everything we need right now for the next right step is already in our hands.
Yeah.
So we'll just get it done. Get it done.
So we're already at 50. This has been a long one already.
It's all right.
So we ask all the time that if there's any questions,
Yeah.
we want you to hit us up. If you have questions about how to be diligent or how to get over procrastination, how to get over laziness, ask us.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole other session on this.
Yeah.
But we have a meeting scheduled at noon, and it is 11:58.
So we got to go.
Because you know why? We scheduled some time this morning
That's right.
to shoot the tug of war.
And that's what we did.
And so we got to have some urgency to get to this meeting. Love you guys. See ya.